It's late, and the room is finally quiet, but your mind won't follow. The lights are low, your phone screen is dim, and you're staring at nothing like it might explain everything. Maybe you just finished washing dishes. Maybe you're lying on your bed fully dressed. Either way, your chest feels crowded, like the day never actually ended. You're tired, but not the kind of tired that sleep fixes. You keep replaying small moments that shouldn't hurt this much. A message left unseen. A smile you forced at work. A conversation where you nodded like you were fine. You did what you had to do, but something inside you feels unseen. Not by people exactly, by life. Like you've been carrying a weight for so long, you forgot what it felt like to walk without it. Sometimes the hardest part isn't the pain itself. It's the silence around it. The way the world keeps moving while you're trying to breathe through something invisible. You look normal. You show up. You laugh at the right time. But there's a private ache you don't know how to name, and it makes you wonder if anyone would even notice if you stopped pretending. And maybe you've tried to explain it before. Maybe you've hinted, or you've opened your mouth and then closed it again. Because what do you even say? I'm not okay, but I don't have a clear reason. That kind of suffering feels embarrassing. Like you should be stronger. Like you should be grateful. Like you should be able to handle what everyone else seems to handle. So you carry it alone. You carry it through grocery aisles and traffic lights and family group chats. You carry it into the shower, where the water is loud enough to cover your sighs. You carry it into your pillow at night, where your face stays dry, but your heart still feels like it's leaking. You don't always cry. Sometimes you just go numb. And when you've been numb long enough, you start asking questions you don't even want to ask. You wonder if your suffering is too small to matter or too messy to be understood. You wonder if you're being punished or forgotten or simply overlooked in a world that doesn't slow down for anyone. You wonder if anyone, anywhere sees you. There's a certain kind of loneliness that comes from doing everything right and still feeling broken. You can be responsible and still feel lost. You can be kind and still feel tired of being strong. You can be surrounded by people and still feel like you're on the outside of your own life. And the scariest part is how normal it starts to feel. Tonight, maybe you're not even looking for answers. Maybe you just want the pressure to ease for a second. You want your shoulders to unclench. You want your thoughts to stop circling like they're trapped. You want to feel like your pain isn't pointless, like it isn't just noise inside your chest, like it has been held somewhere safe. And in the middle of all that, there's a pause. Not dramatic, not magical. Just a quiet moment where you stop fighting yourself. You take a breath that goes a little deeper than the last one. You notice the sound of the fan, the distant hum of the street, the steady beat of your own heart. For a second, you're not running. You're just here. It's strange how stillness can feel like company. Like someone sat down beside you without needing to speak. No spotlight, no performance. Just presence. And you might not even know why, but something in you softens. The way it softens when you finally admit the truth. That you've been hurting. That you've been trying. That you're tired of carrying it alone. And that's when you begin to sense him. Not as a loud voice, not as a lecture, not as a distant figure in the clouds. More like a calm awareness near your pain. Like warmth near a bruise. Like someone who isn't shocked by your heaviness. Someone who doesn't ask you to explain it perfectly. Someone who doesn't step back when you feel messy. He feels close in a way that doesn't demand anything from you. Not like someone waiting for you to clean yourself up first. Not like someone counting how many times you've fallen apart. More like someone who already knows the whole story, including the parts you've never said out loud. And somehow, being known like that doesn't make you feel exposed. It makes you feel safe. You've been carrying the idea that you were ignored, that your suffering must not matter because it kept going, that if anyone truly cared, something would have changed by now. But his presence doesn't argue with your pain. He doesn't rush to fix it. He simply stays near it, as if to say, I saw every moment you thought didn't count. I was there when you felt invisible. It's easy to believe you've been overlooked when the answers don't come, when people move on, when the days blur together. You start thinking love must be loud to be real. But his love is quiet. It doesn't fight for attention. It doesn't perform. It doesn't come with pressure. It's steady, like a hand resting on your back when you can't stop shaking inside. You remember times you whispered for help, not in fancy words, just in raw need. In the car, in the bathroom, in the middle of the night. And nothing happened the way you expected. So you assumed the silence meant absence. But now, in this soft stillness, you realize something else might be true. Maybe the silence wasn't empty. Maybe it was filled with him staying. Not as a miracle worker making everything perfect overnight, but as a companion who refuses to leave you alone in it. The kind of presence that doesn't make your pain smaller by dismissing it, but makes you feel less alone inside it. The kind of presence that lets you breathe again, even if your circumstances don't change in this moment. And you start to see your suffering differently, not as proof you were forgotten, but as proof you've been surviving. You've been walking through things that would have crushed you if you were doing it only by your own strength. You may not feel strong. You may feel worn down and thin, but you're still here, and he's been here too. He doesn't look at you with disappointment. He doesn't stare at your weakness like it's a problem. He sees the parts of you that kept going while your heart was tired. He sees the quiet courage it took to get out of bed, to answer one more call, to show up when you wanted to disappear. He sees what no one clapped for. And tonight, it's like he's sitting with you in the dark, not trying to change your personality, not trying to force you into a brighter mood, just sharing the weight, sharing the silence, letting you be human without shame, letting you feel what you feel without turning it into a lesson, letting your tears or your numbness be welcome. You don't have to pretend with him. You don't have to sound spiritual. You don't have to explain why it hurts. You can just be honest. You can be exhausted. You can be confused. You can be angry. And still, he stays. Still, you are held. Not tightly like a trap, but gently, like something precious that doesn't need to be rushed. So if your heart has been whispering, I've been suffering, and nobody noticed, let this be the quiet answer tonight. Jesus has not ignored your suffering. Not for 1 second. He has been near you in ways you didn't recognize, in moments you thought were empty, in nights you thought you were alone. And even now, you are not alone. You never were.